This moment has yet to happen to me organically, but God, I long for it. I long for it. I long for it.
No.
Welcome back to another episode of Find Your Formula Reacts. Today we have another video by Math talking about, it's called SwordPilled. Now, I started watching about 10-15 seconds of it and I was like, yo, this is actually really good content. I want to kind of check it out. I know with Sword Math, he goes deeper into things. He doesn't just give you something and then leave you to your own devices. He likes to give it to you to where you understand it, and then gives you the reasons and how that impacts society. So let's get right into the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Roll the clip.
And want? Do they want bad boys? Do they like jerks?
Pin your arms above.
Why do they say they like nice guys and then turn down the guys who are nice to them?
Good morning, Starshine. The Earth says hello.
Where the hell does this come from?
I'm gonna show you a secret move nobody's talking about, but I know for a fact all women want. All we want in the depths of our heart is for somebody to do this. Oh, now she's looking at you. She's yours. You could be a villain slaughtering my people across the 7 kingdoms. What a red flag. But that's all it takes. Just a little whoop, huh.
She said, kill
I'm about to say, so murder my family and lift my head up with a sword, and I'm yours. Is this why this is called SwordPilled?
my family and move my face around with a sword. Why does she want that? And why can't anyone agree on how this works, even after I wrote it down for you? I'm going to answer all of these questions again. I've done it before somewhere in here, but this time I'm going to do it all together, all at once. This is my last attempt to get rid of the poisonous language that we have in our culture around good guys and bad boys, as if you can only be one at a time, like you have to pick one. If we keep talking about it like that, we're never going to figure this out. What people say, especially men who are not successful with women, is that women like jerks who are low in niceness, and they don't like good guys who are high in niceness. That's all wrong. Throw it all in the garbage. This is Zones 4. Some people...
So hold on, before he gets into it, let's kind of break this down here. So on the right-hand side there, you see that it has supportive. So I'm guessing like nice guy stuff, you know, investment, spending time with her, taking her dog out, things of that nature. And then on the bottom half, you have sexy, which is like bad boy stuff, I'm guessing. But if you look to where the zones cross, if you have 0 sexy and 0 supportive, you're a nobody. If you have 0 sexy and 100 or 10%, 100% supportive, you're her bestie. You're like one of her girlfriends, right? If you have 10 supportive and 10 sexy, then you're like the man of her dreams. And if you have no supportive and 10 sexy, you end up breaking her heart. And I think what happens a lot of times is guys would rather be the guy who just breaks women's hearts, because either they have been hurt themselves and they haven't dealt with that, and everyone's been hurt. Let's be honest, right? Or they see like how the landscape is and they can't trust anybody because all girls seem to go for the guy who's going to break their heart. So they adapt, they adopt some of these qualities and be like, well, I'd rather just be a bad guy. If I have to choose between being a bad guy who gets laid as opposed to a good guy who doesn't, or a good guy who just gets walked all over, I'd much rather be the villain in this situation. And I think that's why the lifting up the head with the sword kind of correlates. But I want to see where he's going to go with it.
Zones 3 was hard to read, so I made it simple. What women like is strong guys. That's what makes them excited. Okay. And there aren't very many strong guys right now, so they don't have to be nice. They don't have to be supportive, and they don't want to because it's expensive. Women want this guy, but there aren't any of them left. There are very few strong guys right now, and so they all get a lot of girls, and they can't support all of them, which makes them cry. That's a big part of why women hate men right now. But women will pick the strong guy who makes her cry over the nice guy who is weak, because weak is icky. Right. They just don't like that. They don't like weak for the same reason that you don't like fat, ugly women. It's just gross to them. So if you are strong and supportive, someone will want to be with you. If you're supportive but not strong, girls will be friends with you. If you're strong but not supportive, girls will go home with you but then run away when you make them cry. And finally, if women are not attracted to you and they don't want to be friends with you, you are probably just a weak jerk and you have a lot of work to do. I have been in all of these boxes, and I remember believing that this was mean and this was nice, because that is how male attraction works. When a girl is nice, we usually like her. And when she is more masculine and demanding and in charge, we usually go, geez, I don't know about this one.
Right.
So we end up thinking that women are just like us, but they're
They're
doing it
opposite. Right.
backwards.
Right.
We go, women
And
should.
that's 100% true. Women are exactly opposite to us. We think like, okay, I would love it, like you said, I would love it if a woman is nice to me, you know, cooks for me, cleans for me, makes my life easier. So if she gives me things, then I'm going to feel good about this woman. So in return, a lot of guys, they end up doing the same thing, which is called simping. They end up giving to a person and giving to a woman who doesn't appreciate it and who doesn't reciprocate it. And then the men are going, well, I understand. I gave you this. I gave you that. I gave you this. I don't understand why you don't like me. And it's like, well, if she actually likes you, you wouldn't have to give so much in order to get reciprocated. He's 100% right here. And also, I've been in these boxes as well. I've been the invisible guy. I've been the home girl. I've been the heartbreaker. And I feel like now I'm slowly coming out of the heartbreaker stage to get to a point where it's like, you don't have to be mean to people in order to make yourself feel better. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing when you it's one thing when you don't have any power and you feel powerless, and then you finally get some power and you're like, ooh, I can't wait to show everybody that, you know, this chick was wrong and that chick was wrong. But then once you get all of that out of your system, you're left with the choice. It's like, okay, you're going around breaking the hearts of someone's daughter. Do you want that to be your legacy? You know, do you want that to be what people remember you by? It's just this guy who was rejected a whole bunch through their teenage years, and now that they're winning in life, they're just breaking hearts. Now, I understand it, because when women are younger, they do a lot of bamboozling. And then when men get to their, you know, late 20s, if they really, really grind, early 30s, mid 30s, things of that nature, they start to bamboozle. And I'm saying I understand it, I get it, but I'm saying after that, when you look back on your life, you have to come out of these stages. These are all phases in a man's life, I believe. You start off as a nobody, but you get to decide where you end up. Are you going to be the strong guy who's also supportive? Or are you going to stay weak? It's really up to you.
Like nice guys, but they like jerks. And it doesn't make sense until you understand that women have different needs than us. They're more complicated. They need strong, which we usually don't care about, and they need supportive, which we also usually don't care about. They don't want nice, they want strong and good. I'm going to show you why nice guys versus jerks is the wrong way to frame what women want. What women want is strength. And strength comes in many forms, most importantly, safety. In the digital age, safety is complicated. I have 51 accounts. I worry about them. I keep my information safe with Aura, this video's sponsor. Aura showed me how my information was all over the web. Look at that. See more. If you ever wondered how scammers get your number and your email, this is why. These are data brokers. They sell your data without your consent to God knows who, and they make billions. And even though they have to remove your data if you ask, they make it as hard as possible. That's why I recommend Aura. They make it clear and easy to keep yourself safe. Aura does the hard part for you. They remove your info from data brokers and they keep it off. Aura is all-in-one online safety. You get alerts for credit and banking fraud or if your info's on the dark web, 24/7 monitoring and US-based support, a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, $5 million in identity theft insurance, and more. You can try Aura free for 14 days at aura.com/homemath. Click the link in the description. I feel safe with Aura, and you will too. That's aura.com/homemath. So why don't men know they need to be strong? Well, it's not your fault. You were just trying to be nice. This happens to most of us. It happened to me real bad. This whole time I was just a weenie, and then here I thought I was finally nice enough to get a real girlfriend, and she ruined my life. My life gets ruined a lot. I'm on my way back. We
Good
all
stuff,
start
man.
out here, and we want to get here.
Yeah,
Then they
exactly.
punish us for being strong and tell us to be nice, so we end up here. And girls don't like it, so then we stop being nice and end up here forever. This is as simple as I can explain it. You grow up, you start liking girls, you say, what do girls want? Everyone says, just be nice, just be yourself.
Right.
And then you think, how would I want a girl to treat me? And you do that and it doesn't work.
Right.
And then you have to go try a bunch of things and see what works, or just like quit. And I'm telling you what those things are as simply as possible. They're all right.
So let's kind of look into this list, right? So for body, you have body type, height, voice, muscles, hands, fitness, face, chemistry, pheromones, aka how you smell, hygiene, posture, fashion, and then competence of masculinity or confidence. You have strong, tough, smart, income, power, fun, skills, talent, status, respect, dominance, funny, smooth, capable, sly, persuasive, mysterious, and popular. You also have comfortable, stoic, leadership, frame, protective. I believe that's aggressiveness. Um, Maybe when he says light, I'm guessing to the light side of the male psyche because he has dark. I'm guessing he's talking about dark triads here. So light, he has optimistic, self-assured, and then dark. It says I'm superior. I believe that says I always get my way. No one's better. Nobody better mess with me. Things of that nature. Yeah, he's 100% right. These will definitely help you build up your masculinity. You know what I mean? You'll definitely start moving with a different swagger. But in order to have confidence and competence, you have to put yourself in situations where you have to prove yourself. You can't just be a weenie your whole life and then wake up one day and be like, I'm the most confident man on the planet. You haven't done anything. You haven't put yourself into situations where you're like, well, I don't know. This might not work out for us. You know what I'm saying? You got to put yourself in situations.
Here and here. Now I'm going to explain what they are before I tell you what swords have to do with it. I'll do this really quick. I've said it so many times. There's physical attractiveness and the masculine part of your personality. That's what causes women to be attracted to you. Everything over here is what you have to offer her. That means what do you give her that protects her from the harsh realities of life? Do you provide? Do you protect? Do you care? Do you give her higher status? So if you provide and protect and care, you are a friend. And if you are exciting, you are a boyfriend. And if you can do both, you are ideal. A lot of men think they can do these things and expect her to feel this way. And that's not how it works. That's how they tell you it works. They say be nice, but we all know it's not worth anything. They never tell you to look good and be strong and tough and smart and funny and be superior, better than other men.
Right.
And they
Right.
especially don't tell you this part, how women want to be at the mercy of a powerful man. Why don't they just tell us? Remember what Momo said. It's a secret move, but all women want it.
I'm gonna show you a secret move. This is a move nobody's talking about, but I know for a fact all women want.
How can something be a secret that everyone knows about? That's what I was trying to communicate when I put the top half of zones in a speech bubble and the bottom half in a thought bubble. I guess it was too subtle. Not a lot of people picked up on it. But
Well, I mean, it's the same on the men's side though too, where he talks about keepers, sleepers, and sweepers. It's the same thing. Like no one, I guess it's because they don't want to tell anybody that this is who they've been seeing. I'm interested to see like where's he going with this? Because you know for a fact, like when a woman says just be nice, they're not saying, oh, I just need you to be nice. Like, for example, okay, Lois Lane didn't want Clark Kent. She wanted Superman to act like Clark Kent. And I think that's where he's going. Like we always say bad guy, good guy, jerk, or whatever. But in this case, the strong guy, she wants the strong guy to be mean to the elements, to be mean to other people, maybe even mean to other women. But she wants the strong guy to have a soft spot in his heart for her, which validates her to say like, well, I'm such a great woman that I tamed this beast, if you will. That's like the psychological female fantasy, is to tame the beast, to tame the billionaire, to tame the werewolf. This giant beast of a man is tamed by this little dainty woman who bats her eyelashes. But when they say just be nice, you have to be a beast first in order for her to want that niceness from you. Because if you're not a beast and you're just a regular guy, then your niceness doesn't mean anything because you haven't proven that you're capable of evil. So you're not virtuous in that sense, because a rabbit isn't virtuous for being weak because it's incapable of harm. But a wolf is, or a lion is, a beast is virtuous if it chooses not to rip you apart with its teeth. So I think that's where he's going, but I could be off. I could be off.
The higher you go on the chart, the more public. People
Right.
brag about these relationships. And the lower you go on the chart, the more secret. We keep these things to ourselves. And you might notice that the entire bad boy axis is at the very bottom of the chart. What that's supposed to mean is women don't tell you these things, they tell you these things. So for men, the more we like her, the more we want everyone to know about it. And at a certain point, we'll still hang out with her, but we don't want anyone to know.
Right.
This is the
that's your 4 a.m. chick, right? That's the chick who don't look good, but she'll do whatever you want. That's where she fits in. Oh yeah, that's the sleeper, maybe even the sweeper. That's the I don't want nobody to know, but yeah, you can come over for sure.
hardest part for men to understand. Women can like a man or things about men quite a lot and still not want anyone to know about it. That's why so many men have this problem and these problems too. We ask women, what do you want? And she says, I want a ring and a house, and I want you to be nice to me and be committed. And then we give that to her, and she says, ew, and then dates a criminal who has these things. And men get really fed up with this, and they say women are lying, and they want jerks. Again, if a girl is nice to us, we like her more. But it's not a lie. She does want the good guy stuff, just not by itself. So if this has ever happened to you, it's because you didn't have what she was looking for here, and she's not gonna tell you, because these are secrets that every woman wants.
So that's where the whole analogy comes in, where it's like, don't ask a fish how to catch a fish, but ask a fisherman. Because in this instance, right, using this chart here, the fisherman would be somebody who has some of these qualities down here at the bottom, would be a quote unquote bad boy, would have some of the dominance and the dark triad traits and things of that nature that we talked about, having that power, if you will. So yes, a woman does want you to be nice. She does want you to be kind and sweet and all of that. But that's only after you've proven in some way, shape, or form that you have other capabilities. You have the capability to be, I don't want to say evil or cruel or mean, but you have the capability to be strong in a world that's going to test your strength.
Didn't have what she was looking for here, and she's not gonna tell you, because these are secrets that every woman wants. And the sword thing is the biggest secret of all.
Okay, let's talk
So
about
if
that.
women want something, why would they keep it secret? Doesn't that prevent them from getting it? And the answer is, of course not. That would mean that life makes sense, and God would never let that happen. So there is a reason that women keep these things quiet, even though they want them very much.
Why?
I'm going to switch to zones 3. It's got these meters. So you'll notice that the more a man likes a woman, the more he wants to talk about her, more public. And again, we assume that women are the same, and that's not true. The more that a man supports a woman, the more she will talk about him. You've probably seen women freak out and scream and go, oh my God, look at the ring, it's so huge. That is a lot of investment.
Right.
And it's coming from a guy who makes her look good. He's not some 80-year-old that she's robbing, basically. He's not running around with other women. He's got a lot of good guy points, so he is more public. But remember, none of these things cause attraction unless it's there already. If you are down here, if she has...
Exactly. Be Superman first, and then be Clark Kent. You, like he was saying, if you're giving a girl the ring, the investment, all this stuff without having any strength of your own, then it doesn't matter. It makes it moot. And I think this is what he's talking about is the core diagnosis of simping. If dudes understood, like, okay, I want to give this girl everything. I want to give this girl the world, but you don't have any of the other qualities she's looking for, this is what happens. She'll use you for that investment because it does make her feel good. Oh, I got this dude buying me lunch. I got this dude buying me dinner. I got this dude buying me breakfast. She don't have to lift a finger, and she don't got to pay no money, and she's getting to eat 3 square meals a day, and she's fine with that, and she'll do that. But if dudes really looked at the situation and goes, okay, does this woman really like me? Because if you ever had a woman really like you, she will break all the rules for you. If she's like, I normally don't go out at 9 a.m. Until like after 9, and you're like, cool, meet me at midnight, and she goes, okay, and does it, that's a good indicator that she probably likes you. That's kind of an extreme example, but you get what I'm saying. She'll break rules for you if she likes you, all right? And you can kind of tell. So clearly, there's something about me down at the on the attraction level here that she likes about me if she's willing to break rules for me, which then is going to allow me to be more apt and be more willing to invest on the good guy scale, right? This is why people talk in this space. This is why people talk about working on yourself first. Because if you work on yourself, you get more of those attraction triggers, you get more of those choosing signals, that increases the likelihood that a woman is going to like you for you, in the sense of liking you for the person that you've built up. All right. And then once she does that, then you can decide, and you should decide, that you're going to invest in this woman. Again, I'm speaking from a perspective of like, should you just be going around hooking up? No, I don't think you should. And the reason why is because it gets to a point where you're like, okay, you're going to meet a woman that you genuinely love and genuinely like, but it's going to be so difficult for you to like not compare her to like, oh, there was a super slutty chick in Germany that I was banging, and the woman that's going to be my wife, doesn't compare to her. That does happen with guys too, and a lot of people don't talk about it. So I don't think that you should just be going around hooking up with people, but you should definitely have those qualities to work on to give back to your family one day. No woman wants a weak spouse. No sibling wants a weak brother. No child wants a weak dad. There's absolutely no excuse for you to be weak. So gain your strength, and then the women come with that.
No idea who you are, and you start doing lots and lots of this stuff, you become like a brother to her. And if you do a half-ass job, you end up here, and that's how you get fired. That's this. This is you down here saying, what do women want? And then they tell you, I want these things, and then you do them and bring them to her, and she says, ew, no thanks, because you landed here, here, or here, and you didn't have these things, which she didn't tell you, because if she does, it makes her look bad. She loses points here. Be honest with yourself. When you hear Momo say this, does it make her...
That is I didn't even think about that. That's, wow. Okay. That's why women don't tell you, because they know that you're going to judge them for it. Even if it's, I knew about the whole body count thing, but like, this makes a lot of sense. Because if you meet a woman and you're like, so what kind of things do you look for in a guy? And she's like, I really want a guy who could just murder my entire family and then lift my head up with a sword. I'm not going to be like, she's the one. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be like, yeah, this chick is guts only at best. So she already loses points. But if she's being honest and that's what she really wants, she gets punished for that. Kind of like the same way how dudes kind of get punished publicly for their preferences, women kind of get punished privately for theirs. That's a very interesting point. I did not think about that at all.
Things which she didn't tell you, because if she does, it makes her look bad. She loses points here. Be honest with yourself. When you hear Momo say this, does it make her seem more or less like wife material?
Way less.
Now she's looking at you, she's yours. You could be a villain, slaughtering my people across the 7 kingdoms. What a red flag. But that's all it takes, just a little whoop. Huh. This moment has yet to happen to me organically, but God, I long for it. I long for it. I long for it.
Now, your mileage may vary, but I'm not in love with the idea of building a kingdom for someone who wants me to get slaughtered by a villain. This might also explain a few things about women's voting habits. Think about it. I'd like to thank Momo for taking one for the team. She said the quiet part out loud, and that can make men pretty resentful and less likely to provide. So, keeping these things secret is a strategy, and it's also a test to see who can figure it out. And a lot of them don't even know they're doing it. All of this is buried so deep in the subconscious that most women don't know they have to tell you. They assume that you already know what they want, and that's where we get this dynamic from. This is the you should be able to read my mind conversation that we've all had. This is the A woman's love language is not having to ask. I want to go out to eat. What do you want? You pick. Okay, how about Italian food? No, not that. You pick. Okay, how about if we go get Indian food? No, not that.
Right. It's that's that's got to be one of the most frustrating things because he's 100% right. You think that your woman thinks like you, and to some degree she will if y'all have been together long enough. Like you guys will pick up on each other's habits, whatever the case may be, right? But that's 100% true. This is a really good video because he's going in, like I always said, he's going into things. He's like moving curtains out the way and really shining a light on what appears to be true throughout all of society. Very good video here.
You pick. She wants you to know what she wants without telling you. And by the way, the answer to that question is usually just get in the car. Where are we going? You'll like it when we get there.
Exactly.
And that feeling of being in charge, saying, here's what's going to happen now, that's what women want. That's what the sword is. This is a picture of a guy faking it and the girl doesn't buy it. So the reason that women don't say this stuff is because it means I can be taken away by competition that is stronger than you. And when men hear that, we say, well, why would I give you anything then? Why would I give you time and money and stay away from other women for you if someone can just come by and take you because he's taller, has a better car or something?
Right. There's always a
Making
bigger
man
fish.
wait while her 10, 20.
Yeah, there's always a bigger fish. And guys have to be privy to that because we know that once you get to a certain level and as you start having things for yourself, there's always going to be another guy who wants to take what you have. And if you, like he said, shack up with a woman who already, damn, but then again, do all women, like she said, if that's the case, if all women feel like that, then it doesn't matter what woman you get with because any guy who's bigger, stronger, has more power can take her from you. So then that poses the question, well, why bother with any women? Why not just work on yourself to get bigger, stronger? But then I guess I would say it's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. I don't know, man. This has got me thinking. This has really got me thinking because there's some times where like no matter how much training I do, no matter how many drugs I take, I'll never be as big as like Brian Shaw. He's like 6'8", 400 pounds. It just isn't in my genetic makeup. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't pursue love. You know what I'm saying? To be like, oh, I'll never be a 6'8" giant. Most people aren't. Most men will never be that. All right. But I do think there's certain thresholds and there's certain things that you can do that I think there's like a certain level of man you need to be to get a woman. And then anyone who's above that level can hurt your relationship with whatever woman you have. But that as you get a woman, you shouldn't stop getting to the next level, I guess, if that makes sense. It's like a balanced beam you kind of have to figure out as a man. But this has got me really thinking. I want to watch a little bit more of it. And then I'm going to leave the link in the description for the full video.
30, 40, 50 previous partners she slept with.
Wait, let's back up here.
Just come by and take you because he's taller, has a better car or something.
Making a man wait while her 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 previous partners she slept with on the first or second date is like me going to McDonald's. Everyone in the restaurant paid $1 for a cheeseburger. There's 3 people in line ahead of me. They all pay $1 for a cheeseburger. Then I get to the front of the line, ask for a cheeseburger, and the clerk looks at me and says, it's $1,000 for you, sir.
Then don't pay.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Don't pay. Now, this is the type of video where it definitely makes me think. It definitely had me thinking about some things, but it made a lot of sense though. And it is kind of like this paradoxical thing because he's right. Like if a woman tells you like, oh yeah, I just want a dude who could da 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 da. Like for example, if you're talking to a girl, right, and you're like, yeah, you know, I've had a sex with a few women, you know, it's nothing, like blah blah blah, and she starts going into all of her hoe stories, but that's the truth. That's 100% honesty. You're gonna look at her differently 9 times out of 10. If this is a chick that you're serious about and a woman that you love, a woman that you want to marry, whatever the case may be, and she's like, oh, I was having a threesome and I was doing this on the balcony in Dubai, you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm good on you. There's no way I can invest my livelihood to the type of woman that would do something like that. And do I think that that's valid and fair? Absolutely. But I understand why then, if you're a woman, you would, oh God, ooh, dying. I understand though, if you're a woman, why you would want to lie about that. Because how the culture is set up, to not only push a woman into behaviors that are going to make them worse wives in the future, but it not only pushes them, but it promotes that, and then it congratulates them on the back end of it. Yay, you were a single mom. Way to go. Single moms can do whatever dads can do. And that's a really messed up, kind of convoluted, dark, twisting, turning situation. I have no idea how to fix it. But watching videos like this on YouTube kind of gives some insight to any problems that you guys might be having. And it definitely puts some things in perspective for myself as well. Guys, if you liked the video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.